What's going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make daily Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be talking about why I think Cam Reddish would be a good candidate for the Charlotte Hornets. Now, a lot of people I saw on Twitter, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter where I talk about the Charlotte Hornets, and then I also have a Twitter page where I talk about the NBA draft. If those interest you, I'll put the links down in the comment section below. Also have another channel where I talk about the NBA draft because, you know, the Hornets are going to need it. So I'll put that in the comment section down below or the description, whatever. But anyway, a lot of fans of the Charlotte Hornets on Twitter are saying, I don't want Cam Reddish. Look what happened in Atlanta, or look what happened with the Knicks. And therefore, they don't want him because of those type of situations. Well, if the Hornets want to ever be good, I think that these are the type of things where you can really start pushing your franchise in the right direction if you take a flyer. Because it's like said that they only want like a second for Cam Reddish or a player that can do a similar role. I'm not sure what the package is. The Hornets have a lot of seconds, so I give them 2 seconds. And I'm about to show you why even 2 seconds I'm cool. Because we got 4, I think, last year. So what are we going to do with those? I think that a lot of people don't understand those situations with the Hawks. Those situations, well, the current situation with the Knicks. So with the Hawks, they did draft him high. Cam Reddish was part of that Duke team where it was him, Zion, and RJ Barrett. Very, very talented Duke team, as much as I don't like Duke. Very talented Duke team. And I feel as though he was the odd man out. He was the guy where you took a flyer on him because it was like, well, he looked good in high school. He was with Zion and RJ Barrett, so it's like, I just hit my mic. But he was with Zion and RJ Barrett. He was a third fiddle, so maybe he just didn't really get to show his talent. We see that so many times. Like Kentucky, great example. There are so many players. Devin Booker's one who they didn't do much at Kentucky, but that was because Kentucky is so loaded that a lot of those guys don't get minutes. But when they come to the NBA, they're really able to show off their talent. They do very well. Now, I'm not saying that Cam Reddish is going to be Devin Booker, but what I am saying is that those same situations that happened to him at Duke, it happened to him with the Atlanta Hawks. You got DeAndre Hunter, I believe, in the same draft. You got Kevin Huerter, and then you have Trae Young, and I'm just saying all like the guard wing positions. And then you had they had Rondo, they've had DeLon Wright, they had Bogey. They've had so many players that just all kind of fit in that wing, and they got rid of 2 of them. They got rid of Cam Reddish, they got rid of Kevin Huerter, and then they got DeJounte Murray, in return. And then now they drafted AJ Griffin, who we should have drafted. But anyway, Cam Reddish, and then that team was designed to win. Once they made the Eastern Conference Finals, and Cam Reddish actually had some decent games, I believe so, in that run. I'm not saying he was dropping 30 points, but he had some decent games in that run in the Eastern Conference Finals. They were like, we're ready to win now. And when you're ready to win now, you're ready to give up young assets in order to become better. They were ready to win, and he was dealing with injury, and so they were like, hey, we'll just ship you off to New York. So I don't really put that on Cam Reddish. I don't put that as Cam Reddish is a bad player. The Hawks were just in a different position. They weren't ready to really work with Cam Reddish. And even if they were, you went to the Eastern Conference Finals, you're trying to capitalize on that. How much can Cam Reddish do? Because he's not like a solidified player yet. He's not a player who's established himself yet. So I don't blame them for trading him, but it doesn't mean he was bad. When you look at his time with the Knicks, he's had games, and I'm about to show you. He's had games, but we know Tibbs runs a tight ship. We know Tibbs only runs like 6-7 people. We know he plays guys 40 minutes. And then they have so many guys to feed, They got Emmanuel Quickly. They got Quentin Grimes. They got Jalen Brunson. They got RJ Barrett, who's not looking that good this year. But they got Obi Toppin. They got Evan Fournier, who's not looking like he's worth the money. And so I don't know. They're trying to trade Cam Reddish, and I really think it's just a Tibbs thing. I'm not saying Tibbs is making a wrong decision. I'm not saying Cam Reddish is some perfect player. So let's look at his games this year and just decide, like, hey, these are the type of flyers the Hornets should take. Like, why not? He's a 6'7" guard, well, a 6'7" wing. And we need wings. We need talented wings. He's shown that he can score. If you're only giving, I promise you, whatever them 2 seconds are, they probably won't be as good as Cam Reddish. Probably. I could be wrong. We know Mitch is really good at hitting second rounders, but you got 4. You got 4 second rounders. And not all this year, but my point is, you got other times, and then we're about to have a fire sale, hopefully, so that you'll get the draft capital back. But why not take a flyer on a guy like Cam Reddish, who has shown he can score at the NBA level, but for some reason something is happening in the middle where we're not seeing now. Hornets, I'm just saying they should do their due diligence. I know I said they should trade for him, but they should at least just check in. A lot of people, I don't want him. Look what happened in New York. Look what happened in Atlanta. But those aren't exactly his fault. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying he's some perfect player, but those aren't exactly his fault. But anyway, let's get into the stats, because I feel like that's something that could change a lot of people's minds. So this year alone, so last time he played, first of all, is December 3rd against Dallas. He played 9 minutes, 0 for 4, shot 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, fine. -16, not good. However, you go, we don't even have to go far a bit. Okay, so right here, November 15th, 19 points. He had 19 points on November 15th against the Utah Jazz, who at that time were really good, and they won that game. He shot 40% from 3, basically 54% from the field. Now, granted, he did one of everything else, which, fine, whatever. I mean, I'm not asking you to be some lockdown defender. I'm not, like, at this point, the Hornets just need talent. We'll figure the rest out later. That's the type of position we're in. And I feel like people are too picky. And it's like, at the end of the day, we're the Hornets. We haven't been good in forever. Why not take a flyer? It's a cheap flyer. The Hornets have taken way more expensive flyers. And I'm looking at you, Gordon Hayward. They took a way more expensive flyer on a guy who really just wasn't going to fit what we do at all. He was much older at that time. We didn't have LaMelo. It just wasn't going to work. Gordon Hayward, as good as he is, with the roster they had when they brought him in, he wasn't going to be able to change much. That team would have already had to have been good, and then that's the type of piece Gordon Hayward is right now in his career. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can make a lot of money doing that. You can be very awarded or appreciated by doing that. However, this team wasn't right for Gordon Hayward to come in at the time he did. So they've taken way more expensive flyers. Signing Terry Rozier was an expensive flyer. You don't have your core locked up and you already signed a guy who really can't be a part of your core. I'm not saying that Terry Rozier is not good, but still, that was an expensive flyer because your team, you don't have Miles Bridges under contract at that time. Miles Bridges was not under contract. Granted, he didn't do what he did yet, but he still wasn't under contract. So your core wasn't solidified. You really only had two players. There was a big age gap. It was just, you didn't have a center. There was so much that you could have did instead of signing Terry Rozier. Not Terry Rozier's bad, but once again, an expensive flyer. But I digress. Okay, and then on the 13th, 2 days before, he dropped 26, 10 for 17 from the field. 2 for 5 from 3. He shot well for, like I say, shot well for the field. 4 steals, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Just he put up numbers, 10, 11. And this is, I get it. Like, for example, this one right here, against Denver. They won this game. He had 37 minutes. He only had 10 points, right? But I'll go back and look, and I'll see what he did. Because 37 minutes, 10 points, you had to be doing something right for Tibbs to leave you in for 37 minutes. And even if it was injury, because we know how Tibbs is. He's much like Steve Clifford in a way. Their coaching philosophies. But, like, it's just, and I get it. Like, okay, and this is opening night, 22. And I remember that game, actually. It's just, and look, the 8, fine. Like, I get it. Not every game. I only pointed out the highest scoring games, right? But still, 10, 11. If I can get a consistent 11, like, it's just nothing. There's nothing wrong with what he does at all. And I just don't understand why Charlotte Hornet fans are like, we don't want him. And let's look at his shooting splits overall. Shooting 45% from the field, 30% from 3, which I get it. That could be the kicker, you know what I mean? But hey, he's shown the talent. 45% from the field, that would be higher if he didn't shoot 30% from the 3. And then he shoots 88% from the field, from the free throw line. And so I can see all this other stuff you can say, maybe he don't put in the effort or whatever, and that could be true. I really have to go back and watch. I'm going to watch more games. I'm going to go back and watch like the games where they don't play the Hornets and see what he does. But to be honest, I'm not mad at it. At this point, the team just needs cheap talent, and that is what he would be, you know? And then you take, like, I'm not saying you pay him like Kevin Porter Jr., where they gave him like that backloaded contract. I'm not saying do that, but you can give him like an extra 2 years and be like, all right, prove yourself, and then we'll renegotiate after, or a year. It don't matter. But my point is, he's shown nothing but talent, nothing but the ability to play at the NBA level. He's just not getting the burn. Last year he played pretty well. And I get it. Like I said, these other numbers can be concerning. I completely get it. It's not like he does much else outside of scoring. It's not like he's the world's best scorer. 100% understand that. But I don't see, like, what else do we have is kind of more so my point. Is instead of really like going in for Cam Reddish, my other real point is just, what else do we have? We have a lot of guys that, like, we don't know what we have with James Bouknight. But I want to find out what we have with James Bouknight. He didn't make the best of his minutes early in the season, but still, I definitely want to see what we're doing with Bryce McCallums. Jalen McDaniels is a good piece to have. Cody Martin's a good, and I get it. So it's like we have a lot of wings, but Kelly Oubre's about to go. Gordon Hayward is just not going to be here much longer, whether he's about to go or not. Terry Rozier probably needs to go. I don't know how that's going to happen, but he probably needs to go. So there's so much that is going on where I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with taking a flyer on Cam Reddish. But anyway, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I keep saying that they should trade for him, but in reality, they should at least do their due diligence. I don't know why there would be a reason for them not to at least want to look into the situation and see what's happening. I get it. You know, he doesn't do everything, but he shows that he can score. And right now we can't score. It would just be a good piece for LaMelo. I'm not saying this guy's going to be a superstar talent. Like I said, we're spending a second on him, so it's not going to matter too much. But once again, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. If you're a Knicks fan that happened to stumble upon this video, let me know what the problem is with Cam Reddish, or why you think he's not getting minutes. Because I see even Knicks fans say he deserves more minutes. And looking at his stats, I mean, I see why. But hey, everybody's different. So just, if you're a Knicks fan, let me know. I actually truly want to know. But anyway, that does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.